Milestones provide us with a genuine feeling of spot. Landmarks and normal miracles assist with interfacing us to an objective and rouse trips all over the planet, whether to Paris for the Eiffel Pinnacle or Giza close to Cairo for the old pyramids. These locales are symbols of their separate urban communities or nations and their set of experiences, so these top 12 tourist spots ought to be on your list of must-dos while you're venturing to the far corners of the planet. 12. Inclining Pinnacle of Pisa, Pisa, Italy. The development of this well-known Middle-Age structure started in 1173 and required almost 2 centuries to finish. The White Marble Tower is likewise one of 4 structures in the UNESCO-recorded Piazza del Duomo church building square, which is additionally called the Piazza dei Miracoli, Square of Wonders, in focal Pisa. You can move to the highest point of the inclining pinnacle, however note that kids more youthful than 8 aren't permitted up. Reservations are firmly prescribed assuming you intend to climb it. At the point when you're done, visit the notable Pisa Basilica and the Baptistry, the 2 of which are in a similar square. A while later, join the numerous vacationers presenting at all points to catch a photograph holding up the inclining pinnacle of Pisa. Likewise with numerous European attractions, anticipate bigger groups and longer holds up in summer from June to August. 11. Nanstein Palace, Schwangau, Germany. Worked under Lord Ludwig II of Bavaria, this German palace and its striking setting make for an otherworldly encounter. Truth be told, there have for some time been ideas that it enlivened Disney princess palaces, for example, those in Cinderella and Resting Magnificence. Note that you can visit Nanstein Palace as a component of a directed visit. Because of the palace's notoriety, it's ideal to hold your visit tickets well ahead of time as the site draws a few 1.5 million yearly guests, a considerable lot of whom come during the Pinnacle summer season, July and August. Subsequent to visiting the palace, go for a stroll if you really feel compelled to, and on the off chance that the weather conditions permits, across the out-of-this-world Marienbrück, a thin scaffold suspended over the plunging Paulet Gorge with incredible perspectives on the palace. 10. The incomparable Pyramid of Giza, Giza, Egypt. Situated close to the Nile waterway only a couple of miles beyond Cairo, the incomparable Pyramid of Giza and the encompassing pyramids are around 4,500 years of age. The first of them, presently called the Incomparable Pyramid, was dispatched by Pharaoh Khufu as a burial chamber for his entrance to life following death and finished around 2550 BC. The pyramid is additionally one of the 7 marvels of the antiquated world and the final straggler standing today. In the event that it's your most memorable excursion to Cairo, think about taking a visit through the 3 pyramids of Giza or recruiting a manual for get a superior comprehension of the dumbfounding development. While there, remember to snap a picture with the incomparable Sphinx, one of the world's biggest and most established sculptures. To arrive, you can take the metro from inward Cairo, then a taxi or transport. 9. The Brandenburg Entryway, Berlin. This Greek recovery-style milestone, motivated by the entry to the Acropolis and developed in the last part of the 1700s, is quite possibly of Berlin's most notorious design. The roughly 85-foot-tall design neglects Pariser Platz, one of the city's prettiest squares, and is the main enduring authentic entryway in the city. Today, the Brandenburg Entryway is a symbol of the reunification of both Berlin and Germany after the fall of the Berlin Wall that separated the country during the virus war. It's totally allowed to visit. Observe that fights at times join around the door, in which case it ought to in any case be protected to go yet might be extremely packed. 8. The Acropolis, Athens, Greece. Go to this rough slope in Athens to encounter one of the most noteworthy remaining parts of the antiquated Greek progress, the Acropolis. You can then meander the remains to see the amazingly popular Parthenon sanctuary, on everything and with seas all around the city. The close by Acropolis Historical Center likewise justifies a stop as it's loaded up with extremely valuable relics and sculptures uncovered from the compositional site and gives inside and out clarifications of old Greek society. Plan your visit in the shoulder times of spring or succumb to cooler climate and less travelers. 7. Mont Holy Person Michel, Normandy, France. This archaic Benedictine cloister is quite possibly of the most astounding sight in Europe. Tracing all the way back to the 10th 100 years, Mont Holy Person Michel sits on an island in the Narrows divided among the French districts of Brittany and Normandy. Guests can arrive at the convent by walking or by transport from the vehicle leaves. The rugged stone that houses the fantasy-like monastery is associated with land when the tide is low. In the event that you're there brilliantly, you can see the abnormally quick tides change Mont Holy Person Michel into an island. However, don't stress over being stood out there, as the scaffold stays associated constantly. For a treat, remain on the island and partake in a widely acclaimed omelette at La Mer Poulard, or search out Breton claims to fame like crepes and galettes. Make certain to test Calvados, an apple cognac that is just delivered in the Normandy district. 6. The incomparable Mass of China. With parts of it worked something like quite a while back, the incomparable Mass of China is the longest wall on the planet, with the best safeguarded segments from the Ming tradition extending over around 5,500 miles. At the point when added together, every one of the areas at any point fabricated measure around 13,170 miles long. One of the most famous parts to visit close to Beijing is the Muxianyu segment, which is the longest piece of the wall open to vacationers that has been completely re-established. The best times to visit the Muxianyu Extraordinary Wall are in the spring and fall, when you'll track down ideal climate and dazzling view. In the event that you're searching for a greater amount of an experience, travel to Jiangkou, which offers a difficult climb with steep slopes yet in addition heavenly perspectives and closeness to nature all through. 5. Machu Picchu, Peru. The old Incan bastion of Machu Picchu sits roost on a mountain ridge in the Peruvian Andes at a height of almost 8,000 feet above ocean level. Before you visit this unbelievable site, it's ideal to go through the night in neighboring Aguas Calientes to conform to the district's height, yet it is feasible to visit on a drawn-out road trip from the bigger city of Cusco. Then, at that point, take an early morning transport or a somewhat difficult climb of as long as 2 hours to the bastion. Note that you'll have to book tickets ahead of your excursion, as you will not have the option to get them at the entryway upon appearance or in Aguas Calientes. There are likewise extra expenses and a set number of grants to move to Huayna Picchu and Machu Picchu tops, where you'll track down additional fabulous perspectives. 4. Taj Mahal, Agra, India. The Taj Mahal is a catacomb and recognition for Mughal ruler Shah Jahan's darling spouse Mumtaz Mahal. This lavish design, worked during the 1630s and 40s, is home to her burial chamber after she passed on, bringing forth their 14th kid. The ivory-white marble catacomb required almost 20 years to fabricate and is perceived by UNESCO as the best accomplishment of Indo-Islamic design, blending impacts from Persia, India, and the Islamic world. Situated in the city of Agra, the Taj Mahal is available via train from the capital city of New Delhi. The ride requires as long as 3 hours. Taking into account the huge groups this widely acclaimed site draws, coming in the morning is ideal. Additionally, an early morning visit implies you can get the dawn, which will presumably give occasion to feel qualms about a captivating sparkle, the shocking landmark. Late evening to nightfall is definitely not a terrible decision either for marginally lighter groups. 3. Eiffel Pinnacle, Paris. The Eiffel Pinnacle is perhaps of the most visited landmark on the planet, particularly from late June to early September, so you might need to design a visit during one of the shoulder seasons, spring or fall, to keep away from the groups. It's less expensive to just visit the second level of the Pinnacle, and you can save much more if you have any desire to walk almost 700 steps dependent upon it as opposed to taking the lift. However, for unrivaled perspectives on Paris, consider going overboard on a pass to the high level. Likewise, probably the best Paris visits incorporate a stop at this milestone. You might in fact eat inside the Eiffel Pinnacle at Madame Brasserie or at the Michelin-featured Jules Verne, which has an obligatory exquisite clothing standard. After dusk, you'll see the reason why this must-visit objective in France is known as the City of Light. The Eiffel Pinnacle puts on its own stunning light act at the highest point of every hour into the evening. 2. Sydney Drama House, Sydney. The Sydney Drama House is one of the world's top vacation destinations and ostensibly Australia's most unmistakable structure. Found right close by Sydney Harbour and its celebrated scaffold, this milestone is otherwise called one of the most active performing expressions scenes on the planet, facilitating dramas, ensembles, expressive dance, theatre, and that's just the beginning. To get to know the popular Sydney Show House, you can take the hour-long directed Sydney Drama House visit. Extra directed choices are likewise accessible, including a thorough behind-the-stage visit through the scene. A short time later, remain for beverages or supper harborside at one of the scene's indoor or open-air cafes. 1. Angkor Wat, Siam Harvest, Cambodia. The antiquated sanctuaries spread across Angkor Archaeological Park comprise one of Southeast Asia's most critical archaeological locales. This UNESCO World Legacy Site exhibits the remaining parts of the capital of the Khmer realm from the 10th to 15th hundreds of years, including the world's biggest strict landmark, the extensive Angkor Wat Sanctuary Complex. To best figure out Angkor Wat's set of experiences and its special Khmer design, think about booking a directed visit, and, prior to leaving the old site, make certain to move to the highest point of Angkor Wat for really staggering perspectives. As you investigate the remainder of Angkor, the Bayon Sanctuary at Angkor Thom, which sits north of the fundamental complex, is additionally not to be missed. If you have any desire to deal with your own visit, it's effectively open by taxi, tuk-tuk, or even bike from the city of Siam Harvest, as the recreation area is on the edge of the city.